Hello my dear students, in this lecture we are going to see one previous year GATE numerical. This question was asked in GATE 2020, means this is a last year question only. The question was asked on voltage joint, that is eccentrical voltage joint for 2 marks. The question is a rectangular steel bar of length 500 mm, width 100 mm and thickness 15 mm is cantilevered to a 200 mm steel channel by using 4 bolts as shown in figure. See here, bolt A, B, C, D. Here there are 4 bolts are given. With the help of these 4 bolts, we are joining this steel channel with the bar. Now all bolts distances are given. Distance of O from B and A is 50 50 50 50. This will form a square, that we can say, right. Again, for an external load of 10 kilonewton applied at the tip of steel bar, the resultant shear load on the bolt B is given by. See here, at the tip there is a force F of 10 kilonewton is acting, and they are asking what is resultant load on bolt B. Now, my dear students, as this is a eccentric force, this force we can transfer as it is at the centroid of these 4 bolts. For these 4 bolts, centroid will lie at O point, and if I put this force Ef on centroid, I have to transfer the moment created by this force about this centroid, right? Now, can you imagine here, this Ef is at distance 300 plus 100 from the centroid, means eccentricity. We can check here. This distance is called eccentricity E, which is nothing but 100 plus 300, that is 400. 400 mm is a eccentricity. Now this force F directly we can put at centroid, that is O point, right? Force F of 10 kilonewton. But along with this force, it is creating clockwise torque. This torque also we need to put, right? And here force F is given 10 kilonewton, and torque T will be equal to force into eccentricity, which is nothing but 10 into 400. It is kilonewton mm, because distance in mm, force in kilonewton, right? Means because of this force F of direct force F, there will be a primary shear loads, and because of this torque there will be a secondary shear load in all the bolts. Now look at the arrangement. There is a bolt A, bolt B, bolt C of same size, bolt C, and bolt D. Right? These are the 4 bolts and of same size. Everyone, all the bolts are of same size. And for these bolts, O is a centroid. O is a centroid. At O, directly we can put a force of 10 kilonewton, and along with the force, we have to put the torque also, which is of magnitude 400 into 10. It is in kilonewton mm. Right. Now, in these bolts, distances are also given. This distance is 50. This distance is 50 vertically. This distance is also 50, and this distance is also 50. These distances are given. Now can you imagine here, because of this force F of 10 kilonewton, there will be a primary shear load in all bolts, that is PS1, PS2, PS3, PS4, right? As well as, to cancel this clockwise torque, there will be an anti-clockwise shear in all bolts, that is anti-clockwise secondary shear load will come, right, to cancel this torque, clockwise torque. Now here everything I am erasing. Now we will consider these bolts dimensions and all bolts that we are going to consider. Now consider the bolts. Here there is a bolt A, bolt B, bolt C, and bolt D. Let us say these are the 4 bolts. Now on these 4 bolts, consider direct shear load separately and torque separately and add them together. Right. Let us say this is the centroid of all the 4 bolts. Here O is the centroid of all the 4 bolts, and on this O, direct load which is of magnitude 10 kilonewton is acting. Right. Now, therefore, to resist this direct load, there will be a resistance in bolt A, primary shear stress or primary shear load in A, that is PSA. There will be a primary shear load in bolt B, PSB. There will be a primary shear load in bolt D, PSD, and there will be primary shear load in bolt C, that is PSC. Right. To resist this 10 kilonewton direct shear load, there will be primary shear forces in all the four bolts. Therefore, and interestingly, we have seen that the primary shear load is equally distributed among all the bolts. Therefore, PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to PSD, which is called primary shear load, which is nothing but total load divided by number of bolts, that is 4 bolts are used here, right? Therefore, here it is nothing but we can say 10 divided by 4, 10 divided by 4. Therefore, we can say PSA is equal to PSB is equal to PSC is equal to PSD is equal to 2.5 kilonewton. It is in kilonewton, my dear students, right? Now, again, if I consider torque separately, see, at this centroid, the torque is also acting of magnitude. This torque T is also acting. This torque is of magnitude equal to force into eccentricity, which is nothing but 10 into 400 kilonewton mm, that we have seen, right? Now, to resist this clockwise torque, there will be an anti-clockwise torque on all the four bolts, right? So to create anti-clockwise torque, the forces will be like this. See, dimensions are given. See, dimensions are, this distance is 50 and this is 50, right? And heights are also given, right? These distances are given here. These distances are, this distance will be 50 50. In diagram already this is given, right? Now, to resist this clockwise torque, there will be anti-clockwise torque. Now see, for anti-clockwise torque, torque is nothing but force into perpendicular distance. Therefore, if I want to consider force on secondary shear load on bolt B, then from O, that is the location of torque, we have to take this radius. This will be radius of B, RB, and perpendicular to this radius, there will be a secondary shear load which must create anti-clockwise torque. Therefore, the secondary shear load on bolt B, PSB dash, will go like this, which is perpendicular to the radius. The angle between radius and force is 90 degree, right? Again, for A bolt, from O, the distance is called radius of A, and on A, the force will go like this. That is secondary shear load on A, PSA dash, secondary shear load on A, right? Which is creating anti-clockwise moment or anti-clockwise torque on bolt C. From O to C, this distance will be radius of C, right? And secondary shear load will be perpendicular to this radius, that is PSC dash, secondary shear load. Again, similarly on bolt D, there will be radius of D like this, from O to D, RD, and perpendicular to radius, right? Perpendicular to radius in anti-clockwise direction, there will be PSD dash, secondary shear load on bolt D, right? Now, see, all the secondary shear loads are creating anti-clockwise torque to cancel this applied clockwise torque, right? Now, we have to find radiuses. We have to find first of all radiuses, right? Then we will find all secondary shear loads, right? Now we first of all find radius. See here, from O, this distance is 50 and vertical distance is also 50. Here 50 and this distance is 50. Now consider a triangle. If I consider a triangle, here this distance is 50, this distance is 50, and this distance is RB. This is RB, right? Therefore, definitely this angle will be 45 degree, this angle will be 45 degree, and this RB will be under root of 50 square plus 50 square, which is nothing but RB is equal to 50 root 2 mm. RB will be equal to 50 root 2 mm. Similarly, due to symmetry, all the radiuses will be same. That is, we can say here RA is equal to RB is equal to RC is equal to RD is equal to R is equal to 50 root 2 mm, right? Because of symmetry, you can solve in the same way for all bolts, right? Now once you calculate radiuses, let us solve for secondary shear loads. Now torque is 110 into 400 kilonewton mm. Now the secondary shear load is directly proportional to some radius, that is ps a dash is directly proportional to ra, radius of a, and this proportionality is removed with the help of constant. Therefore ps a dash is equal to some constant into radius of a, and this constant already we have proven this formula. Here directly I am using the result. This constant k is equal to, we have seen this, torque divided by RA square plus RB square plus RC square plus RD square. This is a formula to find constant, right? So let us find this constant. Therefore K is equal to, torque is 10 into 400. This is kilonewton mm divided by, all are mm or not. These all dimensions are in mm. Therefore all are same. Therefore we can say 4 into r square, that is 4 into r square is 50 root 2 whole square. Therefore we will get constant value. This constant k we will get 0.2 kilonewton per mm, because force torque we are using in kilonewton or kilonewton mm, or force we are using in kilonewton, right? Once you calculate this k, then we can calculate all the secondary shear loads, that is ps a dash is equal to k ra. Similarly, PSB dash is equal to KRB. Similarly, PSC dash is equal to KRC, and PSD double dash D dash is equal to KRD. With the help of these formulas, we can find all the loads, right? And my dear students, as radiuses are same and constant is same, as all the radiuses are same and constant k is same, therefore secondary shear load also will be same in all the bolts. Therefore, find out this secondary shear load in all the bolts. Therefore, we can say here PS A dash is equal to PS B dash is equal to PS C dash is equal to PS D dash is equal to K into radius. Therefore, this secondary shear load PS dash, we can say simply PS dash is equal to K is nothing but 0.2 into radius is 50 root 2. Therefore, this PS dash secondary shear load we will get, this PS dash we will get 14.14 kilonewton, because all the loads we are using in kilonewton, right, on all bolts. Now here we have calculated primary shear load, that is PS is equal to 2.5 kilonewton, and secondary shear load equal to 14.14 kilonewton. Now we have to check which bolt is critically loaded. First of all, we have to check which bolt is critically loaded. Therefore, for critical loading, I will combine these two loads. Now let us combine these two loads. Let us say here bolt A, bolt B, bolt C, and bolt D. Right. Afterwards, we will give the names. Now here it is a O point, centroid of all the bolts. On all the bolts, there is a primary shear, that is PS. Primary shear is PS, right, which is of same magnitude, that's why I am writing PS only, right? There is a primary shear PS, and there is a secondary shear also, which is perpendicular to radiuses, right? Here the radius will be like this. This is R. Here this distance is also R. Here this distance is also R, and this distance is R. These are the radiuses, and there will be secondary shear loads which are perpendicular to the radiuses in the direction opposite to the rotation, opposite to torque, like this. This is PS dash, here perpendicular to radius, PS dash perpendicular to radius, PS dash perpendicular to radius, PS dash, right? And bolts are, here there is a bolt B, here bolt C, sorry A, here bolt C, and here bolt D. These are the bolts, right? Now let us to combine them. The resultant of PS and PS dash will lie in between them. Now to join them, we need angles. Now let us find angles. Let us find angles. See here, this distance is 50, this distance is 50, 50, 50. Right, because of these two sides are same of 50, 50, this angle will be 45. Now extend this line. If I extend this line like this, therefore with horizontal this angle is 45, therefore with vertical also this angle will be 45. But my dear students, our target is to find angle between PS and PS dash. This is your theta b, this is your theta b, angle at b, right? Now can I say this radius and PS dash is perpendicular, therefore this theta b will be also 45 degree. Here this theta is also 45 degree, theta b is equal to 45 degree definitely, right? Now, similarly, therefore, angle between PSB and PS dash is 45 degree, right? Now, similarly, for D also, there will be a 45 degree angle. For D also, there will be a 45 degree angle, right? Because of symmetry, at D also, this angle will be, that is theta D, will be 45 degree. Now, angle between here, PS and PS dash at A, this angle is theta A. This angle is theta A. Now, can I say this theta A is nothing but theta A is nothing but 90 plus 45. See, my dear students, you can check here. You can check here. See, as angle of vertical with this inclined line is 45. Just now we have calculated this angle is 45 degree, right? Just we have calculated in here in this case vertical with inclined is 45 degree, and here these are perpendicular to each other. Perpendicular means this is 90 degree angle, means 90 plus 45 is 135 degree, therefore theta is 135 degree. Similarly, this theta c will be equal to 135 degree. Therefore resultant of these two, the resultant of all them will lie in between. That is resultant of b is like this, rb or fb, we can say pb. It is resultant load on bolt b, pb. Similarly resultant load on bolt a, pa. Similarly resultant load on bolt c, pc. Similarly resultant load on bolt d, pd, right? Now the resultant will lie in between, right? Now let us find them. Let us find the resultant. Now to find resultant, we have law of parallelogram, and as per law of parallelogram, the resultant is given by, let us say we have two forces like this. We have two forces, let us say F1 and F2, and I want to, and angle between them is theta, let us say theta, and I want to find resultant of these two forces. Resultant R is resultant, then as per law of parallelogram, resultant is equal to under root of F1 square plus F2 square plus twice F1 F2 cos angle between them, cos theta. Total will be in under root. With the help of same formula, let us find resultant of all these stresses. My dear students, in question they have asked to find resultant load on bolt B only, right? Now we have PS is equal to, primary shear load is 2.5 kilonewton, secondary shear load PS dash, secondary shear load is PS dash, which is nothing but 14.14 kilonewton. Therefore resultant load on bolt B will be equal to under root of PS square plus PS dash square plus twice PS dash cos theta b. Here there will be a theta b, right? At b, angle at b, right? Angle between PS and PS dash at b, which is nothing but 45 degree. Theta b will be 45 degree. Now put these values, therefore is equal to under root of PS is 2.5 square plus PS dash is 14.14 square plus twice into 2.5 into 14.14 into cos 45. Now if I solve for this, then resultant load on bolt B will be equal to 16.005 kilonewton. This is your answer. My dear students, for this question, this is your answer. that is PB is equal to 16.005 kilonewton. If they ask you what is resultant load on bolt D, then because of angle at B and angle at D is same, then PB resultant load on B is equal to resultant load on D is equal to 16.005 kilonewton. This answer you will get. And let us say if they ask you what is resultant load on bolt A, if question is to find resultant load on bolt A or resultant load on bolt C, can I say resultant load on bolt A is equal to resultant load on bolt C? Because primary shear and secondary shear loads are same, and also angle between them is same, right? Which is nothing but angle between them is 135 degree. Now let us solve for this. If I solve this, angle is 135, that we know. Now here I am erasing the diagram. Angle is 135 for bolt A and bolt C. If question is to find resultant load on bolt A, or if question is to find resultant load on bolt C, then answer will be under root of PS square plus PS dash square plus twice PS dash cos theta A, or we can say cos theta C. Therefore PA equal to PC is equal to under root of 2.5 square plus 14.14 square plus 2 into 2.5 into 14.14 into cos 135, and solve for this PA and PC. Then you will find answer equal to, the answer will be 12.5 kilonewton. 12.5 kilonewton. Therefore, can I say the maximum load in the loading is load on B is equal to load on D is equal to 16 kilonewton. Therefore, B and D are critically loaded. B and D are critically loaded. Right. Therefore, we have to design bolt B and bolt D. Now here I am extending question. I am extending the question as question is, if yield strength is 480 MPa and factor of safety is equal to 2, then find diameter of bolt. Then find diameter of bolt. This is the question, right? Now while designing, always we have to design for maximum loading, and maximum load is on bolt B, right? Maximum load is on bolt B as well as bolt D. Therefore here maximum load P max is nothing but load on B is equal to load on D, which is nothing but 16 kilonewton, which is nothing but 16,000 Newton, and this is a shear load, total shear load. Therefore here we can say the maximum shear stress will be equal to maximum load, that is P divided by area, and the area will be pi by 4 d square only, right? Now this we have to equate with this maximum shear stress, we have to equate with SSY divided by factor of safety as per theories of failure, right? And SSY is nothing but half of SYT. Therefore it is SYT divided by 2 factor of safety, right? Now put the values. Therefore load is 16,000 divided by area is pi by 4 d square is equal to SYT is 480 divided by 2, factor of safety is 2. Now in this total equation only D is unknown, my dear students. From this equation solve for D. Then you will get equation for D square, like let us say here this 4 will go up 16,000 divided by pi. This again here this 2 into 2, that is 4 will go up and this 480 will go down, is equal to D square. And from this calculate D. Then you will get diameter is equal to 13.029 mm. Therefore we have to select metric thread MD is equal to M14. We have to go for higher side, right? If it is a gate exam, exactly put this answer. If it is a selection process, we have to go for higher side, right? That means diameter we have to select 14 mm or 13.029 mm. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will start new topic.